Hey all! In this video, I'm going to take you step by step through the process I use to create a color fill within a painted background of a laser engraved wood coaster. These designs are perfect for this technique. I'll put a list of tools and materials with links to my favorites in the description below. So let's get started. I always begin any color filling project by sealing the wood with shellac. This is important as it'll stop the paint from bleeding into the surrounding grains. Let this completely dry. Overnight is always best. Now add a masking tape over the entire surface. You could use a painter's tape, but I have a 12-inch wide mask used for lasers to cover in one piece. Do your best to create a wrinkle-free surface. You're going to want to over-trim this so that you can fold down and cover the sides. Here's the tricky part. I push my coaster against the upper right corner and hold in place with thin metal weights. You're gonna have to replace this in the exact same area to engrave later. Do an outline vector cut of your design where you want the painted background. A high speed and low power should cut through the tape. Carefully remove the cut mask. Now press the cut edge down, making sure it's sealed well onto the wood. I'm using a white primer and paint by Krylon. To make sure this dries level, you'll want to do short, light bursts. It's better to do several light coats than one heavy coat. Now let this completely dry between each coat. Once dry, return this to the laser in the exact place you had it before. You're going to want to do a deep engrave. Oftentimes, I'll do 2 to 3 passes. Now you can remove the mask. Wipe the burn off with a clean rag and some alcohol. It came out pretty good, but there's a few places where the paint did bleed through under the tape. I'm just going to do a light and careful sanding of those little areas to remove that paint. Now reseal everything with shellac in light, even bursts. Again, we want this to dry level. We're not going to be able to sand this again, so be sure everything is sealed well. And let this dry. Now to color fill. Use an inexpensive craft acrylic paint and a small flathead brush to add your color. Push the brush down into the engraving. I like to work in small sections and generally will start in the middle. Paint in a back and forth as well as a circular motion to really get into all those details. Use a pre-wet piece of paper towel and lightly wipe the paint off. And take your time with this too. We want the color fill part to be as clean as possible because we're not going to be sanding, which is what we usually do here. But because we sealed everything first, the paint just wipes off. It is a little bit of work to really clean this off, as you'll probably wipe some of the paint out from inside the engraving. But once it's mostly clean, start using a really light touch and change to clean wet paper towels often. Once it's clean and dry, you'll want to protect this with a finish. If this wasn't on a painted background, I would just use a tung oil or a hard wax tung oil mix. I don't want to take any chances with the moisture getting beneath the paint, so I used a rugged water-based varnish like Halcyon by Totalboat. Just shake it in the bag, pour it into a container, then use a good angle brush to apply a thick coat evenly across the surface. This is self-leveling, and if you need to do a second coat, you can do that in about an hour. Once completely dry, just do a quick sand on the back. I use a 4x4 cork backing that I get from Amazon. I like to add a little bit of CA glue to the back of the wood, then carefully place the cork with the adhesive side down. These are high quality and will be long lasting, and our clients love them. Here are the different styles I offer, from straight engraving to engraving with colorfill, and finally one with a painted background. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.